Hello students and welcome to quiz number 1. On quiz number 1, you will be looking at a calculus problem. So here we have a rational function and we want to explore the limit as x approaches 1. And if you put 1 into the numerator, you get 0. And if you put 1 into the denominator, you get 0. So we could not just plug the number in and see what the limit is. We have 0 over 0, which is an indeterminate form. Now, as opposed to using the algebraic method, we can use a graphical method. We can create a plot of this function and visually observe what happens as we get close to 1. So what you will be doing on this quiz is learning to create the visualization and answer the question with that tool. So in a little bit, we'll go into the RStudio IDE and we'll practice making all of this work. So the first step is to define A as 1. Remember, this is the assignment arrow. And if you do alternate minus on your keyboard, they will insert the assignment arrow with a space on either side. Then we want to define this polynomial function. And we're doing it here. F is assigned to be a function of the variable x. And we have x squared plus 2 times x minus 3 divided by x cubed minus 1. Then in order to draw a picture of this function, we create a tibble. A tibble is a rectangle defined by its columns. So x will be a sequence from a minus 2 to a plus 2 of length 1000, and y will be f of x. Then we can plot the tibble. So we say g is assigned to be a GG plot. Using data equals m up here. Then we have geom line, mapping equals AES. The x aesthetic will be the x column, which is up here. The y aesthetic will be the y column up here. The color will be dark red and the size of the line will be 1.2. Then we can add a vertical line using geom v line, and we say x-intercept equals 1. I should have put a here because if I put a there, then the code becomes more reproducible. That was the reason of defining a up here. So I could have put a right there where it says 1. Then we add geom point at 1 and 1.33. So if we look at the graph, we'll be able to see it. We can come back and put this in. It'll be size 8. It'll be a diamond. It'll be sea green color. Then we can control the y limits of the plot using scale y continuous. This C here is a function called the combine or concatenate function. Then we can control the labels of our plot with the labs function. And then we can control the theme or the non-data aspects of our plot like fonts and sizes, etc. using the theme function. And finally, we can display the plot. And what we get is this picture here. So if we wanted to know what the y values were approaching as x approaches 1, one option is to draw a picture. And we could see it's getting close to here, and that's about 1.33. Okay. And then when we open up the IDE, we'll use Plotly, and we can actually kind of see that in a more accurate way. This looks like a lot of work, but these are good skills. These are important skills if you're going into the business world, if you're going into the medical world, or anything that uses data analysis. We want to be able to draw pictures and make conclusions from looking at visualizations of the information. Okay, let's go ahead and open up the IDE and see how to work with this. So I'm going to open up the file right here. Now, a key part of developing, improved skills and advances with this is knowing keyboard shortcuts. One of them is Shift Alternate G. If I hit Shift Alternate G, then I can go to whatever line I want. And if I want to go to the top, I put in line number 1. Now, the very top of the file is called the header, and under Author, I want you to use the Shift key and the arrow key to highlight what you see there. And then click on the Find Replace tool and put in your name. So your name may be Jose Martin. If your name is Jose Martin, then you put that there and you click on all. And then that will replace it everywhere in the file. After that, you see this code chunk. This is called a code chunk. The letter R here is for the R language. And then this is a code chunk option. So you're going to click this triangle. Now, the first time that you work with the IDE, you will get a red here and it will say, you know, the package doesn't exist. In that case, you will come over here to packages and then you see the user library. And you can select, you can click on these boxes and it will load a package for you. Okay, so let me show you what's going on here. All this blue stuff is either an error message or a warning. Okay, so that's just the IDE communicating with you, telling you what it has done or telling you if there's a problem. Okay, so this is the console pane, and you can clear that with Control L. That is a keyboard shortcut to clear this up. Now to install the package, you click on Install. You could type in the name of the package and then you would click install, or you can use the install function directly. You can type in install and then you can put in the name of the function that you want, like fbasics perhaps. That's a different package. Okay. Oops. Not install, it is install.packages. Okay. You have to put in install.packages. And then you could directly install a package without using these links. So here I got a warning message that I did something wrong, so we'll try it again. So there you go. Now it's going to try to install this package for us. And you can see it going ahead and doing that. Okay. Now the package has been installed, and if I come down here, oops, we'll go back to packages, and we'll come down to letter F. There's fbasics, it's been installed. So over here on the left, this is the source pane. You will install these packages. Now to run a code chunk, you have several ways. You can click on the green triangle, or you can do Control-Shift-Enter, or you can come up here to run current chunk. So you have at least 3 ways to make a code chunk run. And the one you choose is up to you. If you hit alternate O, that will fold everything up. And if you look at this symbol up here, this gives you your document outline. Okay. So a pound sign that is outside of a code chunk creates a new section of your document. Okay. All right. Now, to begin working on these quizzes, if you have 0 experience, if you've never done anything like this, one of the options you can do is hit the window key and the window key and the arrow key to split up your IDE. Now, the way I like to do it is as follows. I like to put the IDE on the left side. Okay. And then I try to put the PDF on the right side. Okay. So I arrange my screen like this. And I want you to begin the process of learning how to work with this tool. So here I see that I need A, so I put A, and like I said, if you do alternate minus, it will insert the assignment arrow with a space on either side, and then you're going to put in 1. Then you do F, assignment arrow, and you type in function of the variable X, and then you're going to enter what you see. right? Notice that I now have an error message. So if you do something wrong, the IDE may detect it, and you may get this little red ball, and you can hover over it, and it's telling you there's an unexpected ending parentheses. And if I look very carefully, I forgot to put in the opening parentheses here. Okay. Now let's create a tibble. So I have M, assignment arrow, tibble, and then I have X is a sequence from equals A minus 2, 2 equals A plus 2, and the length is 1000. Then I put a comma, and Y will be F applied to X. Okay. Then we want to plot the tibble. Now, a key aspect of your work as you're going through this course should be to learn how to do this in an efficient way by using code snippets. So instead of trying to type everything in all the time, what you can do is work as I'm going to show you. So here I'm going to say G, alternate minus, and I put in GG plot, and I have a code snippet, okay? And I hit enter, and my data is M. Now I'm going to make an adjustment. I'm going to come up here to Tools. I'm going to go to Global Options. I'm going to go to Code. I'm going to go to Completion. And then I'm going to go to Show Code Completions Automatically. So sometimes I use the other way, but I made that little bit of a change. I'm going to click OK. Then I'm going to put in geom line. Okay. And I'm going to enter that snippet. Now, when I use a snippet, I don't have to retype everything. Okay. You could work on typing everything in if you want to do that, but here's a different way to do it. Okay. I could just come in here and make the changes as I need to. Okay. Then I have geom line. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and practice just typing everything in as you see it. X-intercept, the color is black, the line type is dashed, and the size is 1. Okay. Then I have a plus sign, and I'm going to put in a geom point. I'm going to have mapping equals AES. So I have a mapping of the aesthetics. X is going to be 1. Y is going to be 1.33. The size will be 8. The shape will be a diamond. And the color will be and then we're going to have scale Y continuous. And the limits will be from -1 to 4. Then I have labs. And you see here's that's an example of using a code snippet. I don't have to type everything in. I can just have predefined code that I use, and it comes out like this. So my title says exploring limits graphically. Okay. Then the caption I'm going to leave as null, and then this one will be X values. This one will be Y values. And then I have my theme. And I already have this code the way I want it. So if I use a code snippet, I don't have to re-enter everything. Okay, I can enter it and have some sensible default values. And then if I need to make customizations, I can do that. And then I can display the image. Now, when I run this, I got an error. Okay, it says the GOMV line is missing something. So this is spelled incorrectly. It should be intercept. And I run this code chunk, and now I get my plot. Okay, so there's my plot. I can see, looking at the limit as I get close to 1, which is represented here by geomv line. Then I use geom line to plot the function I'm considering, and I could put a C green diamond there. And here's a nice tool. You can also use Plotly to get an interactive visualization. So if I want this type of tool where I can play around with the data, I can use Plotly. Okay, so that's a different tool that you can have access to. And so maybe I need to do this type of work and see what's really happening. That's one of the tools that's there for you. Okay. All right, move this out of the way. Here's another thing you would like to learn how to do is saving an image. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to do Control R, and then I'm going to type gg save. And there's my snippet, and I'm going to call this first plot.png, and I can then save this. Okay. And it says, oops, it has to be G, not, you cannot save a Plotly as a PNG, so I have to do a G. Okay. And then I've saved the plot, and I have a nice PNG plot, and you can customize the size, the DPI, etc. Okay, so when you're done with all of that, then you're going to knit the document. You come up here to this blue yarn, and you're going to click on knit. We'll go ahead and maximize our IDE. When you click on knit, this R Markdown tab will open up, and it's going to try and turn this into a PDF. So if you did everything right, everything's installed correctly, you'll get a PDF. So here's Jose Martin, and here's his PDF. He has the graph. Okay, he has his code, and you can see his result. And that's what you'll turn in on Canvas. Now, before we end this video, let's go over a few things. One of them is a keyboard shortcut. So if you go to Tools and then Modify Keyboard Shortcuts, you have the ability to create your own keyboard shortcuts. For example, one of the ones I've done is I have Control R. If I want to insert a code chunk, all I have to do is use Control R. Okay. So you can modify them by clicking right here and changing it. Okay, like what if I want a Python code chunk? Then I could do Control P. That would insert a Python code chunk for me. So some of these already come built in with your IDE, and other ones I know you'll set as you get better at this. And you would click on Apply. Another thing we need to go over is under Tools and Global Options. If you go to Appearance, you have the opportunity to select a different theme. Now, the dark themes are easier on your eyes. If you have like the Vibrant Ink theme or something like that, you won't have all that bright white light shining into your eyes all the time. So maybe you want to work with a different theme. You can also change the size of the font, so that's important, especially as you get older. Your eyes might get worn out. So I like to use a little bit bigger font size. Under Console or under Code, you may want to deselect this one. So I don't like to have the matching parentheses and quotes automatically put in because I just prefer to do it myself. But the default is that they have it checked, so you may want to deselect that. The code snippets I was talking about can be modified in here, and I have as many as I can because then I can do things very quickly. I don't have to remember every single argument. I don't have to reline up the equal signs. I don't have to remember what everything is or type it. So the code snippets seem to be a helpful tool. Under pane layout, these are the 4 panes, and I've learned that I like to have them arranged in this way. That's not the default way that the IDE comes, and the reason I do it this way is because when I'm working in the IDE, I usually want to be able to see the source pane taking up as much space as possible. So I want to minimize the pane that's below it, and therefore I don't want important things I need on there. So the environment, packages and the files and all that I put over here on the right hand side. Here's another one I have. If I do Control J, it will clear all the output. So sometimes you'll have graphs you've created, equations are being displayed, tables being displayed, and you just want to clear up all the output. You can do Control J. I added that. So if you go to Tools, and then you go to Modify Keyboard Shortcuts, and if you look here for Clear, I have Control J. So there's one called Notebook Clear All Output. That's one I use to clear all the output. Okay, that's pretty much it for this video. One other thing to be aware of, if you haven't gotten the LaTeX installed, you can always change this and knit to an HTML document. Okay, you'll still be able to see the results and turn in an HTML document. But if you're really going to try and get stronger at this type of work, if you can get the LaTeX installed, the tiny text installed, then you'll be on a better pathway. Okay, that's it for this video, guys. We'll see you later.